Hey everybody, Rick from Tremor Outdoors. We're going to do an install video for you today doing the F-150 LEDs Mark III door sill kit. I've been waiting for these. I'm really excited about it. I think it's really going to add some cool touches to the truck when you open the doors. F-150 LEDs has it in a bunch of different styles, and so you can have, say, Super Duty or Tremor or whatever. There's a whole bunch of different ones you can check on their website. And the other thing is that what I love about it is that you can select the color or you can have it scroll colors. Really cool looking feature that just adds a really professional touch to the truck here. So we're going to get all the kit put into place, and then I'm going to drive it over to my buddy Brett's at Creation Speed and Sound in Langley, and he's going to do the actual hardwire connections for me. As I mentioned before, the kits come with T-clips, and if you don't have access to a professional installer to cut the wires, strip the wires, solder the wires, etc., the T-clips work well. However, I'm going to be using this thing off-road. I want to make sure that no connections get banged around and jarred loose, and then you're tracking down where's the short, etc. So I really want to make sure that it's really well hardwired into the truck, and then we won't have that problem. But as I say, if you don't have access to that and you want to use the T-clips, go for it. It's a great, easy way of doing it yourself. And now, without further ado, let's get at it. Make sure you have your upholstery trim kit. It's going to be helpful. Now, as you can see, the kit comes with the alcohol wipes, which you're going to want to do on the door sills to make sure they're good and clean, no grease, etc. And it helps for the adhesion of the glue on the back of these little strips. It's got the 3M tape, which works fantastic. All right, so an important note for you folks is that on a 2021 Ford F-150, you're going to be doing your wiring connections on the driver's side. If you look at your sill plates, there's going to be one with a long wire, one with a short wire, for both the front and back. The short wire obviously goes to the side that you're doing your power connections. In my case, I have to route it around through the back seat and up to connect on the passenger side. So I want to have on the driver's side, I want to have the long wires. On the passenger side will be the short wires. Look at this sill plate cover. This covers over where your wiring harness and stuff is under here. That's the lines that you're going to want to use when you're sticking this down, okay? When you stick this down, you have two options. You can either have it a bit of an angle, or you can put it flat. Personally, I like it on the flat side. I think it's going to look better. So we're going to go with that. So I'm going to just take off the this cover here, and then we'll clean the sill plate. And you know what? I think that's probably up far enough. I can actually get my fingers all the way under here. So I'm not going to take it all the way off because this is clicked into here as well. Why take another step if I don't have to? Okay, let's clean this up. And at the same time, it's acting as a good measurement tool for me here as well. We'll let that dry, give it a second. So something that's really important is double check your work before you do this. So looking at the wires, you can see we've got the longer wires here, shorter wires there. This is going on the other side. What's really cool about these light bars, not only does it illuminate the words here, but it's also hollow here with a clear acrylic. So the light colors come through and it gives a nice glow. We've cleaned this off, it's dried. I'm going to peel the backing tape off of the sill plate. Take your time. We want to make sure that when you adhere this down, you do it in one motion and you're not having to try and realign it. All right, so looking at our sill plates, this here and this here, we want to try and line up the best we can to make sure that those line up and we're fairly well centered and going straight across. There we go. Okay, just give it some firm pressure for about 30 seconds or so. Make sure that that sticks down. Now your next step, you're going to want to undo your wires here. And what we're going to do, we have to get this underneath this rubber molding here for the door seals. So we're going to lift this up carefully. We don't want to tear our door seals. I was shocked many years ago when I found out how expensive door seals are to replace. They're crazy expensive. So we want to take our time, make sure we don't do any damage. Okay, we got that there. And what we're going to do is we're actually just going to tuck this into the door seal until we can find, you can see there's a little bit of a dip here. And that's where we're going to cross through and go under. And we'll just press fit. There we go. Take your time, make sure you're not screwing up your wires, not pinching anything. Don't reef on the wires, just gentle pull. And there we go. Okay, now we'll just feed that through to the back because we're going to connect to that later. Okay, now that we've got the wire fed through, we can actually tuck this under here. Wire's hidden. That's in place, we're good. Wipe off our cover. First one in place. Wash, rinse, repeat. Let's go. Same idea. Now you can see this is our front line. We're going to eventually tuck it under, and it's going to go behind the car seat here, the back bench, and all the way across. All right, so just tuck that temporarily there. Long wire, short wire. Short wire, get it out of here. We don't want that on here. Same drill. We're going to pop up this little sill plate. I'm going to use my upholstery tool to save my fingers. That is so much easier. Do yourselves a favor, folks. If you're going to be doing this stuff, it's worth the money. Have these tools. It just makes short work of everything. There we go. All right, so that one's right off. Same idea. We're going to line this up. Now, fortunately, I can actually see the dirt lines. That's a terrible thing, eh? I can see the dirt lines, so I can see where we're going to be adhering this. Again, I want to have it be where we're pretty well level. And we are straight across. And again, take about 30 seconds of pressure. Make sure this sticks down. The 3M tape is really good, but we want to make sure it sticks. All right, the same process. We're going to just pop up our door rubber moldings here, making sure we don't tear them. Just take your time with it. Okay, you can see they're kind of connected there a little bit. So we're going to lift this up. We're going to feed it underneath, just like we did on the front one. As I say, much the same as what we did on the front, okay? Just doing wash, rinse, repeat, as I said. And we're going to tuck this in, taking care that we don't jam it. And tucking that in there. Let's get that wire so it's into that section there. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to start feeding this through and behind the seats. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. Let me just tidy this up here a little bit, and then I'll get right back to you and I'll show you what we got done. We've got the wires tucked nicely in here, so you can't see them. It's coming under here, crossing over, and we're just fishing them up into the back here. And again, these little upholstery tools, super handy. And you know what? I've done this before, like running wires and stuff without these things. And by the time you're done, your hands are killing you. This is a super, super handy set of tools to have. Love it. Okay. All right. Let's put our plate cover back in. There we go. Before we get too crazy of running the wires behind the seat, we have to connect the connectors to this wire here. Now let me just get rid of these for a sec. This is your 4-wire connector. Okay, so the 4 sill plates connect into that. and you follow the wires. It goes to one cable, comes out. This is your sensor for your remote control. So you're going to want to leave that tucked somewhere if you're going to decide to change the colors, if you want to do different things. There's a whole whackload of versatility to this kit for color changes, for color selections, etc. And even having it scrolling through the colors. So make sure that this isn't tucked underneath your sill plate or somewhere where a signal may have difficulty reaching it. Keep it somewhere where it's not visible but not covered. Okay, so let's do that next. Okay, so I just connected the first one. It's very simple. There's a little notch on the top here and there's a groove. You just take it and you're just going to click them together. And then make sure those clips grab it, and now it's secured. Okay, now we can feed it through to the other side, get it through behind the seats, and then we'll connect the other ones to it after we get them installed. So I do want to show you something here. For it, obviously, we have under the seats, you can lift up the bench seats, and there's storage underneath there. There's also, it's important to know, a lot of people don't realize this, but behind the passenger rear seat is where your tire jack is kept. We're going to feed the wires through, down in through here. We're going to try and feed through there from the other side. The thing to remember is making sure that these cables do not get pinched or damaged by the seat mechanisms, or if you're trying to take out your tire jack, God forbid one day you have to use your tire jack, or, and as I say, this is your gas filler right here. So if you're trying to get access to this stuff, make sure that you're not damaging those wires. So we got to run those carefully. All right, so it looks like I might have access to, if I tip up the bench seat here, I might be able to fish through. It looks like there's a little hole here. Yeah, okay. So there's a little hole on the seat bracket that I can actually fit the sensor for the remote control. You just got to take your time. You got to feed these one wire through at a time for the connections, and you'll be clear. This is going through really nicely. And what I would say is make sure that that wire is not going to get pinched. Okay, so leave a little bit of slack until you get this tucked in. And no, that's not going to pinch it. It's not going to do any problems. I'm going to just tuck this, and then I'll see you on the other side there. Okay, so our wire is coming through behind the bench now. I'm going to just tuck it down nice and neat. And we're going to tuck it down here for now. And then I'm going to feed it through that hole on the bracket and out to the side here. Okay, for ease for you folks to see what I'm doing down here, I'm just going to hand bomb this camera for a minute just so you can see where I'm feeding through. 1 second. All right, that there is the hole that we're going to come through on the seat mount bracket. And we're going to come through. It's hard to see, folks, I'm sorry, but the light is tough to get in here. But we're going to come across the back through that hole and then along this panel down here. And this is probably where I'm going to terminate, where I'm going to leave the remote control sensor tucked back there. I got to tell you, it's right about now that I'm super happy I did those dome lights for the Cree dome lights. The amount of light that they produce is incredible. Okay, so we've got our 2 connections going to driver's door, 2 connections that have to be run for passenger side. I'm going to come through first with our power leads. Okay, so bringing our power leads through. Feed that through with your hands nice and slow. You don't want to pull and tear any connections. There we go. And let's get these connections one at a time through for our passenger side lighting. There we go, there's one. And I can feel number 2. Where is it? There it is. And we're going to tuck that through like so. All right. So we got that through. That's plenty of connection for us to be able to run the wires. I would encourage you not to have too much tension on these. We don't want to cause anything to get compromised. And then you're going to be wondering what happened. Okay, so that looks good there. And we can now put down our seat. That looks good there. Just double check. Yep, it's all out of the way. Nothing's pinching it. We can now close this. There we go, get that up out of the way. Okay, same as before, we'll pop out the sill plate. Okay, so we've got all the wires nicely tucked. You can't see them, a little hidden under here. The connections are under here, really nicely done. I'm leaving this exposed here because that's the remote control sensor. And I just tucked the power cables up into here for now because we're going to drive over to Creation Speed and Sound. And our buddy Brett over there is going to do the actual hardwiring into the wiring harness instead of using the T-clips. So for the door sill light kit, what we're going to be doing here, Brett, is you're going to get power from that relay that we used for the side vent lights, correct?
Yeah, so we're going to use power and ground off that. Just make a little pigtail here so we can expand and change it later.
Okay. What we're doing is we're running the power for the door sill kits. Doing it a little bit different. We're going to run off the relay that Brett put in for the side vent lights. And we're just kind of putting a couple things together until we get all of our different features put into the truck. And then we can revisit how to clean it up and make it a little bit sleeker, I guess is the term, eh?
Yeah, sleeker.
That was fun. There was quite a bit of time put in today by Brett working through the wiring on doing the door sill kit lights. And he didn't want to wire it to something that was hot all the time. And we were trying to figure out where the dome light wire was. And he was tracing through all kinds of schematics and through the actual wiring harness and going through and testing. Was having a dickens of a time trying to find the right wire on that. So we've wired it into the relay that is being used for the side vent lights. When you walk up to the truck, it senses the key and it uses that. And so you're getting this similar kind of an idea. What we were looking for actually was the wiring even for the puddle lights, but there might be some sort of like a body module inside the doors or something where the wires are. We could not find it. But again, if we can get that set up, it would probably be the better way of wiring it. These people in the underground parking lots, actually they're not going very fast. It's just the underground parking lot. So we were wanting to find the puddle lights, and if we could have wired into that, that would have been optimal. That way the timing is going to sync up perfectly for when you walk up. The truck senses the key, activates your exterior lights, your puddle lights, etc. And then when you close the doors, it turns it off. For now, what we have it doing is basically running off of that side vent light relay. And you know what, ultimately they time out, it's fine. And the other issue is that when the headlights are on, I'm sure that they're on when the doors close, but who cares, doesn't matter. We will be fixing that later on. So we wanted to get them done, get them lit up, and that was the easiest way of doing it. So we will explain to you in a future short that I will tag for this as to what Brett figures out on the wiring on that, because he's going to have to dig through some schematics and figure out where the actual puddle light wire is and how to tap into that. That's ultimately what we wanted to do. And again, I'm not using the T-clips because I'm going off-road with this truck. It's probably going to be going into water and mud and all the rest of that. We don't want to have any shorts, plus the vibration of being bounced around. We soldered it in, it's good to go. It's a solid connection, we don't have to worry about it. So that's why we're doing this. Now, again, if you're not doing all that stuff and you just want to clip into the wiring harness with the T-clips like F-150 LEDs says, nothing wrong with that. Go for it. We just want to do a little different job on our wiring because we want to make sure that we don't have to be tracing back shorts. So anyhow, look for updates on that. They will be coming. And but in the meantime, I love the look. These things look incredible when it's lit up. So thank you to F150LEDs.com. You guys are amazing. And we will catch you all on the next one. Thank you.